on economic globalization. Let me continue asking. Let's create an ideal type. If we want to know whether we have global economy or not, we need to know the definition. True? What is global economy? What is an ideal global economy should be like? Forget all this free market and government intervention of these two guys. Think, give it a minute. An ideal global economy, an ideal type. We are doing just like what Weber did, yeah? Weber usually will start with ideal type. He said, whatever research we do, we start to create the ideal model, and then we can use to compare countries. Let's create an ideal type. What could be indicators of economic globalization? Think about it. Let's give you a minute. Think about it. Okay, now come in here. What is it?
Presence of the stock market with the MNCs.
Stock market with MNCs. What are these two? What stock market and MNCs? Could be considered two or two. So the one indicator is stock market. Yeah.
MNCs. Why must have MNCs?
What stock market must have MNCs?
Because it's a global economy. So, as in, if there's only the country's companies inside, so then it's not global already.
Okay. Okay, you say there must be stock market. Yeah. And stock market, if it is really global, stock market has to be free and nobody controls it. You can buy and trade whatever in the stock market. Okay. Two, let's put it as another category. You say there must be an MNCs. We have to change that word into TNCs. Because some people say TNCs and MNCs are not similar. Yeah. So you say stock market, good example. TNC, another good example. Yeah. Let's probably look for the stock market. Restriction or not? And do people control stock market? Nobody controls stock market. Stock market is open, anyone can trade, anyone can... Do you know sometimes when this counter is closed for business? Do you know that happens sometimes?
Yes.
Yeah. It is suspended, for example. Yeah? Sometimes you want to buy this company today. You cannot. Because the company is suspended for some reason. Yeah? Sometimes because there's something funny going on there and the company is suspended, sometimes for sometimes for hours, sometimes for days. TNC's MNC. TNC is good. Do we have it?
We have TNCs. I think so.
You believe so? Give me an example of one name. Toyota.
Yes. Albert. I thought you said Singapore as well.
Anywhere, Singapore or elsewhere.
OC.
OSIM. So, they are transnational.
I'm not very sure.
Okay. Do they have national base?
Yeah.
Be careful with. If some people say companies that have national base is not global. The skeptic said that, a very big skeptic. Just look at some more indicators. Yeah, he said TNC, he said stock market, any more. IBU, global economy. IBU, global economy. What do you have?
Hopefully, schools emphasize because like students actually will drive the economy here. So probably standardization
Standardization of?
of syllabus curriculum.
No, not really economic. If you have standardization of curriculum, yeah, if you have one curriculum being used all over the globe, yeah, that is globalization. Yeah, but it's not economic globalization. We tend to call it cultural globalization. Yeah, because it's a spread of knowledge. If you have one curriculum, yeah, all over the globe, you have the same idea all over the globe. Yeah, that is globalization, but not economic. Two more. Let's have and see what are other indicators that we can use when you look at economic globalization. What do you think? No? What do you think? Okay, I think we move on. Now, continue to think about it. If you really want to have a real global economy is free market. Free market. Usually that's what we want. When stock market is free, yeah, it's totally free from any restriction. If we have like migration, workers can move around freely without border. Yeah, that we can say, oh, we have global economy. Yeah. If we have McDonald's all over the globe, yeah, these are the products. Then we say, yeah, we have global economy. Yeah. Then the question is whether we have it. Yeah. Stock market, not really. Not really. Because government still control it to a certain extent. Companies still control it to a certain extent. Companies still determine the price of their stock very often. When the price of their stock drops, they buy themselves, yeah, to create demand, for example. There's still a lot of intervention. Whenever you have intervention, the market is not free. Yeah? So here, when you talk about global market or global capitalism, the question to consider is whether the market is being restricted and by whom. Most of the time, because now here we are talking about countries here, so we are talking about the action of the government. So here, you have free market on one side, government on the other side. So you have the two forces that fight against each other. Free market want to operate on its own. They want to be free. The government say we can't because sometimes when free market comes, it could hurt our economy. Now here I have Obama and Dr. Merkel because when I look at them and the way they debate their policies, I see Obama very much like if we were to think about policies that the US government use. You know, they have a lot of policy that intervene in the market, correct? Yeah? For example, what kind of things that US government did that interfere in the market? Printing money. They print money. Doesn't it interfere with the global market? Yeah? Lately, actually now, that's news going on about tapering of the QE. Did you read about it, the tapering of the QE, quantitative easing? If you watch news every day, there's this news about American trying to cut down on buying bonds. Yeah? America, this is again another policy of Obama. Cut down on bond buying. Last time they used to buy bond in order to help the economy and create jobs. But now they say the economy of America is now quite good, it's progressed quite well, and unemployment rate dropped, so therefore they're not going to buy much anymore. They're going to taper it. Yeah? Reducing bond buying. That will affect bond market elsewhere. There will be much less demand on bond. Yeah? And people predict that because of that, bond market will not do well at all. It's going to be very weak. People will go into equity more. You know that kind of thing. Yeah? Government policy. Yeah? During the crisis 2 years back, Lehman Brothers crisis, you see America really come out, bail out companies. Remember that? When what the companies Fannie Mae, which is a government arm of investing, going bankrupt, you know, American government put in billion of dollars to support these companies. Yeah, most of the banks were failing, were getting bankrupt. Citibank got a lot of money from American government. Yeah, and because Citibank at that time was looked like going to be bad, and if Citibank collapsed, you know the whole economy will collapse. But how come American economy didn't collapse? Because government support. Government take a very major action, you know, in supporting the economy, intervening in the market. If they didn't, the market would probably collapse. Okay. What about Dr. Merkel? Who is she? Angela Merkel, German Chancellor. You guys had to start watching him a little bit, yeah? Because you guys already felt you last year. Student here, next year you go out to work. You've got to know what is going on in the world. Right? During the Euro sovereign debt crisis, yeah, last year, Dr. Merkel really debated with Obama. What to do with the euro, with the eurozone? You know, last year eurozone almost break down. Yeah. Countries like Greece, like Ireland, really going bankrupt, and almost had to be forced to quit the eurozone. Anyway, Angela Merkel said, "Let them bear the mistake. We are not going to intervene. We are not going to help. Let them go bankrupt." So very different policy. Angela Merkel more favor free market costs. Yeah. If they want to borrow, these countries borrow very heavily, right? Yeah? And that's why we call it sovereign debt, because it's the debt of the government. The government got no money. Greece, weak. Ireland, weak. But they are in the same family as Germany, which is very strong economy. France, England, very strong. But they're put in the same basket because they're using the same currency. Yeah? If you use the same currency, the implication is that you are actually exposed to the same risk. Yeah? And in fact, these countries, being euro, they are integrated. The problem is this one currency is a mistake from the beginning. You can't get weak country to use the same currency as strong country because it means they are exposing to the same risk, which is not true. Which is not true. Those poor countries, in fact, a lot, very risky. You want to loan them, usually it's so risky. You want to charge more interest, yeah? Yeah? Because they may go bankrupt and you won't get back the money. But because they are under Eurozone, the same currency, they also can borrow very cheaply. That's why they keep borrowing. They're borrowing and keep borrowing until they can't pay the loan anymore, they go bankrupt. So, I just want to point out to you, when we think of economic globalization, the ideal case is that is truly a free market without state intervention. Yeah, without intervention of anyone. Yeah, can that happen? hard, yeah? Hard. Surely countries should intervene. Sometimes when there's nothing wrong, we see, oh, the free market could run itself. You don't see action of the government. But whenever there's something, some instability happening, you see the government starting to intervene. Yesterday I heard in news, I don't know according to what source, saying that Singapore is the second freest economy behind Hong Kong. Did you hear that? Second freest economy. You know what? We don't know how. See, when they say second freest, right? As a student of sociology, you start to question what? What do you question? Singapore is second, ranked second freest economy. What question you ask? What question you ask? Sorry? Sorry? What are the indicators? What are the indicators they use for this ranking? Well, anyway, it is said it is already free. I mean, not really, the government really restricted trade, they really direct the economy here. Imagine other countries, yeah, that rank much lower. How much action of the government in there in the economy, and in how the country is connected to other countries. Okay, so now, as we start thinking about the issue, let's have a look at what other people have to say about this issue.